recording. Alright, let me know when you see my screen. So guys, see my screen. Can you see my screen? Emmanuel, are you here? Is my screen on here? So first, what I will do is I already have a folder that I'm going to be using for all my projects, right? So I'll go there and create another folder because I want to work on another project, right? So this is my folder, my big folder, Frontend class 2. So I'm going to create another folder. I right click, go to new folder, then I'll call this um my website. I think that is nice. So I've created my folder. I'm going to right click. I'm going to open with code, right? So it's loading. Yeah, so this is my environment and this is my folder. So you can see that it's only my website that is there, the folder that I opened. In your own case, I shouldn't be seeing so many folders here. Maybe we're already going to open the big folder. So it's just the folder that I'm working with that should be here, right? Then I'm going to create my HTML file. I can call it ever name. So I'll give it index dot the HTML extension because I'm working with HTML file, right? That does HTML, enter. So I'm going to write the structure, but no time. I'm just going to do my exclamation and enter. Sorry, why is it? Yeah, so we already explained to you how we derived here, right? How we got here. Your doc type HTML lang, English, your edit tag, so your title. This metadata has to do with or meta name. That's when you're working with optimization, something like that. But sometimes you can run your code without it. Then you have your body. You can see the edit tag is closing here. Body tag close here, and your title, which are the children of the earth, right? The title, children of child to the earth. The earth is the parent to this title. So I'm going to change the title from documents. So before that, I think you need to install the live server. Good luck because you're not there. So when you open your folder, you go here. I see my screen. You go to the extension here. That's why I use Visual Studio Code. Then you look for your live server. Yeah, see your live server. So this one, mine is already installed. It's in purple. Let me click on it. So if you see something like this is your live server. So you install it. So apart from that, let me just take us through this. Yeah, see your extension. So extension, type your live server here. Then you come out this purple like Wi-Fi stuff. So this is for folder. Anything folder is this double file like this. This one is to search, general searching. You want to search for anything in your environment. This is your search. This one has to do with Git, something like that. When you are trying to push to GitHub or something, you might not know about GitHub now, but GitHub is a like a platform where you host your projects. So using this one is run and debug, right? May not be probably using this one. I think they just put this here. So that's it for when you go to your file. Just try to make sure your auto save is clicked, right? So that when you are working, your project saves automatically. And here is, so I've showed us one way to open your folder. You can also open your folder here. You go to your open folder, then you navigate to where the file, your folder is. This is my website, and I'll select folder. That's the second way of opening your folder, right? And this other one too. Probably if you want to undo, redo, copy and paste, may not necessarily need it. Your view, maybe probably anything that has to do with the appearance, what you can see. Yeah, I know you need all the option there. So let me just go. Let me continue. So this is my title. I will call it um, my first website, right? So let me just run this on my browser so that I can. So I'm going to right click on my HTML file. Use the option of open with live server. I'm going to open with live server. So, so this is it. I've not started writing anything on it. But if you over here, you can see that my first website is here, right? My title. Can you see it? Good luck. Can you see it? So my first website, the title I gave it, you can see it there, right? So let's go back to our code. So I'm going to be working with this assignment I gave us, then use this to go into CSS. Do we get? I think we've done everything on it. So the first thing you can see here, I also talk about the div tag. Apart from your heading tags, your paragraph tag, your input tag, your button tags, you also have the div tag. The div tag is just a container tag. It's not doing anything, something. It just has a container to hold other tags, right? It is like a container, div tag. You can also use the section tag. You get what? Div tag is a container tag. Div tag, section tag, they are just container tags. Alright. So I'm going to create, I've started already. This is my body tag. I said it that everything that you want to see should be inside your body tag. So I'm going to create my div tag, right? So this the arrangement I spoke about when I was trying to explain the code. You can see the head here match with the closing head here, the opening of the body match with the opening and closing of the body here. So if you want to get the right spacing, just tab. You can press your space bar 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can use tab though. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It gives you the perfect indenting, or you can use your tab. So the first thing we can see here, what can you see? What is the first thing you can see on this site? Good luck. What is the first thing you need to start with? Yeah, so that's the image, correct. So I'm going to use the image tag, and the image tag is um I sorry, what am I writing? IMG, right? So, but our image is not here. I have to go and fetch my image somewhere and add it, put it in the folder of this project I'm working on. So I'm gonna fetch my picture somewhere. Hopefully I can get, yeah. So let me pick one of this. I went for a program on Saturday. How many of you were there? Data first. Okay. So let me just use this. Control C, Control C. So apart from what you are learning now, just try to, anytime you're having tech program, just try to attend. It will also help you in growing. You get. And also when you join communities that has to do what that they are doing what you are doing or doing what you are learning, it helps your progress. So that's just my way. If I want to copy my picture, I don't have to cut it from here. I'll go to my document, go to the folder of where it is, then my website. So I'm just going to dump it here. Since it's only one picture I'm working with, if I have so many pictures, I have to create a image folder and put the picture there to make my folder look be organized. So I'm going to rename this WhatsApp image is too long, so I'm just going to call it something selfie image. Selfie. So if you open on this thing now, you can see that the format, the item time is JPEG. So we are on the right path. So I already put my image in my folder. Go back to my code. You can see my image is already there, right? So I'm using my image tag src. That's source. So since my image is not in the folder, what you have to do is just the image name and the image format. The image name here is selfie. Dot the image format is JPEG, right? So selfie. Can you see that Visual Studio Code has brought it out for me? So I can just press my tab. So we have it there. So let me go back to my browser. All right, you can see my image is there. So this is just HTML, no styling there yet. So I'm just going to leave the image like that as it is. Though it's very big. Or let me crop it. Let me crop it here. It will still be the same though. Alright. So where is my edit? Just reduce the height a little and this I think this is better. Save. So it's still loading. It's saving. Let's wait for a while. It's not supposed to take time now. Yes, it's my system now. So let me go back to my folder. Let me cancel this first if it's actually that's not saved yet. Can you imagine? Or maybe the file is in use first. Let me comment this. So comment control forward slash comment control Z undo control forward slash. Yes, so I think that's saved properly. Let me confirm if it's still like that. Alright, so we should have this on our web page. So I'm going to uncomment this back, go back to my browser. Yeah, so I've been able to crop it. So this one is okay. So what is the next thing? But you can see that there's a thick line around this image. We call that border. So I'll just keep that. That's when I'm going to see it. I'll talk about it. The next one is the H1 tag, right? Hi, my name is Pearl. So I'm going to use the H1 tag. So the next thing is H1. H1. Hi, my name is Blessing. Yes, we are good to go. So you can see it's under here, right? The next thing is fun fact about me. Maybe like 3 things that we should know about you. So this fun fact about me, they use the H2 tag, another heading tag. So I'm going to write my H2, H2. Fun facts about me. That's all. The next one is the listing tag. And I said when you want to use the listing tag, you either use your UL or OL. So this one now, we are going to use the what? Good luck. What are we going to use the UL or the OL? Yeah, I think you're talking about the the what? Yeah, UL is obviously there, right? So UL is the on that list. It's going to give you in the bullet format dot 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 dot. But if it's the OL, it's going to be one, two, three, four. Again, that's just the difference. So this UL. So whenever you want to use your listing, first you have to create your UL first. So UL, then close it for me. Then give me my UL. So UL. So whenever you have a open and closing tag and you want to write something inside, make sure you like what I just did here. When you open it, when it's created like this, try to press the enter and write your anything you want to write inside. Because if you try to open it and you might actually forget to close it down. So whenever it's Visual Studio Code already closes for you, try to just press the enter key and continue by writing inside. You get so UL. Fun fact about me, I love to listen to music. So let me just duplicate this. That's a shift alt down. So I love to listen to music. I love to travel and what else? My best food. My favorite food is rice. Okay, so we've done that. So let's check what we did. Okay, yes, it's perfect. Can see the bullet line, bullet point. So the next one is the paragraph tag, then the anchor tag. First, you do your paragraph tag. Please connect with me on LinkedIn here. They'll be in the paragraph tag before you put your anchor tag, right? So please connect with me on LinkedIn here. My paragraph tag is not going to be inside this URL, so it's different. So it's going to be outside. So it's P, the P tag. Please connect with me on LinkedIn here. So as you can see, it's only LinkedIn here that should have the link. So I'm going to enclose this LinkedIn here in an anchor tag, right? So this LinkedIn here, I'm going to open my A tag. Then this closing of the A tag, I'm going to put it at the end of the text. I'm going to cut it here and put it at the end of the text here. Do you understand? Good luck. Emmanuel, are you there? So LinkedIn here. So they want me to put my LinkedIn URL here. So I'll just probably fetch it somewhere. LinkedIn, exactly. This is my URL. So I'll just copy this, go to my code. So my anchor tag, whenever I need to put a link or a file path, you have to use the ref. So your ref is equals to in double quote or single quotes. You put your link there or your file path there. So this is it, right? So this is, if I should click here, it's going to consider it's showing here that it's LinkedIn. If I should click here, it's going to take me to my LinkedIn profile. But if I should click here, it's going to take away this my what I'm working on. It's going to load it here, and I don't want it to load the LinkedIn here. I want it to load it in another tab, right? So that's when I'm going to use the blanket. still inside this a tag, but not in the ref codes. So I'm going to put my target blank. So blank is going to open it in another tab, right? So let's just click on it. When I click on it, so it opens to another tab while my my page is still here. So the next thing, what are we going to do? What is the next thing? Yeah, the next thing is the input tag, right? For our forms. So input tag for our forms to collect user information. I'm going to put it in the form tag. Then my input. So input is a self-closing tag. You don't have to close it. So what is it saying here? It's saying enter email. So the type is going to be either text or email. So we can just use probably email, right? And there's a placeholder here saying enter email. So another attribute we're going to use here apart from the type. So the type here is email, and the placeholder is saying enter email. Dot, dot, dot. So let's check that. Yeah, so this is enter email. So I can probably enter my email. See, if you use email tag, you take that please include an at in the email address. That's the purpose of the type of the email. Right? If you use normal text, if you just put any email without the at, it will just allow it to go like that. That's when you are doing JavaScript. But if you use the input, the type email, see if you put anything that doesn't have at, then it will say no, you are wrong. There's nothing like that. So you have to put at there. So that's another benefit of using the type email. So the next thing is what's the next thing? The button. So the button is join newsletter. So after you put your email, the next thing is to click the button to join. So I'll probably leave it in the form tag because they are both requiring you to put your details. And the button is probably it's going to be a JavaScript action sending your email to the backend. So I'm going to put my button tag join newsletter. Yes. Yeah, but it's up here. So what I'm going to use, I'm going to use the break tag. I want it to come down here. So I'm going to put the break tag after this my input or before my button, right? So I'll probably just put it here. Break button, break tag is BR. Just the BR is a self-closing tag. So and we are done. It's not taking you like it didn't take us like 20 minutes. So this is just pure HTML, right? Any question? Good luck. Emmanuel. Um, no question. So now we are moving to CSS, cascading style sheets to add styling to your web pages, right? So when you are working with CSS, there's something we call the CSS selectors. You get the major to be working with is the class and the IDs. Can you hear me? The class and the IDs. So what do they do? So in your HTML here, and if you want to style a particular element, or a particular tag. When you style element are these tags I'm talking about, the image, the H1. Whenever you want to style a particular element or you want to style a particular, maybe you style the body or something, you have to use the CSS selector, either class or the ID. So class is for general styling. You get IDs is like you want to give a unique styling to a particular one. You might have in a div now you can have you want to give styling to you want to give them the same like the same styling like the same or how should I put that? Okay, you have categories and you want to style them the same way, but individually you want to give a specific styling to each one of them. That's why you use the ID. Okay. But if you want to do a general styling, use your class. So they are called CSS selectors. So what do they do? You have to use your CSS selector on your HTML, one of the tags, whichever one. Then you now go to your CSS, then style from them. So we have three ways of styling using CSS. We have the inline, we have the internal, and we have the external. So first, I'm going to be working with this button. I think see the button. The button is style, right? It has a black background with white text called white text joining newsletter. So the first type of styling, inline styling. So the how does inline styling works? It works in the tags in between within the tags. This button here. So this is where I'm going to put my inline styling. Yeah, the opening here in between this button here. Not the context. So can you see my screen? Let me increase the brightness. So for the inline styling, can you see it now? So it's going to be here. It's going to be the first tag or here. This one that is self-closing here. Yeah. So I want to style my button. So when you're using your inline styling, they have what we call the style tag. So we have other tags, but for the CSS, we have what we call the style tag. But the style tag is used for the internal styling, but this one is just the style. So I'm going to do something like this style. This is style. So I want to give it a background color. Background color of black. All right. So let's check our. Can you see the black? Can you see my screen? I gave it a background color of black. But the text is also, the text is also black. So I want to give the text. You can see how they use it. Style is equals to inside quotes, background hyphen color, semicolon, then the 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 key. The background color is what you want to the attributes why this is the value of what you are styling here. Background color, the background color is black. Then if you want to have more than one, you're going to separate them with your semicolon. This is very important. You have to take note of it. So your semicolon. So the next thing I want to style is the text color. So we don't have what we call text color, we just have what we call color, right? So color, quotes, I'll give it a white color. Put my semicolon back in case I want to have add more. Can you see it? Can you see our text is white back? I gave it a color of white. So color means the text is referring to the text to be white. Or when you're working with SVGs too, you can use color. So the difference between the background color and color, do you understand? Background color is going to cover everywhere. White text color is the text, the color of the text. Do you get? So which other one I want to work with? You can see this one too. On your screen bar, you can see a thick line around here, right? So we have what we call, so these are when you begin to practice more, all these styling, you see them online, or you just have to, when you practice and you use them, you will know them. You don't know everything on your head. And again, Visual Studio Code helps you to, like, it just brings the options for you. That's one of the benefits of writing Visual Studio Code, right? So you don't everything you know in your head. Sometimes you can just go and check internet. Our That's why we say as a developer, Google is our friend. Anything we don't know, we ask Google. It's not compulsory you put everything in your head. It's very fine and it's very okay like that. So this is what we call border. Border is Border is actually border now. Is the name is even telling the meaning border, right? So how do we call border? So the border is on my image, right? Is the image that is saying the image is having the border around it. So the same thing, I'll go back to my image. This is the image tag, right? I'll go here and I'll do my normal style because I want to give it the styling. Style is equals to then border colon. So it's a thick line. Let me use like 2 pixels. So 2 pixels, pixels is, we have the pixels, we have the EM, we have the percent. So pixels is one of ways of giving anything, maybe the size or something. Pixels. So we also have EM. 16 pixels is equals to 1 EM. So I will show you guys that. So we want to give it a thick line around it. So we have what, because when you're using the border, you use the size. I want the size of that line to be 2 pixels. Then the attributes, I want it to be a solid line. Then the color black. Do we get? So we have 2 pixels solid black. We can have 2 pixels dotted. Okay, let me just check this one first. So the image 2 pixels solid black. Let's check it. So you can see the line, but it's not really. Let me put 10 pixels. You can see the 2 pixels is very tiny. Did you see it? So let me use. Okay, let me just use 20 pixels solid black. Can you see the line? Can you see the border? Very thick, solid line. 2 pixels solid line, right? Let me use this. So let me use I think we have, is it dotted or dash? Can you see we have dotted. So it's instead of see the line dot. So we can have that attribute though. So let me stick with the solid. So a solid line around it. The 20 pixels is too much. Let me just stick to 10 pixels. So this one is fine, right? So you can see my image. The styling is here. So I want to give it, I want to add another styling to it. I want the edges. I want these edges to be curved. They are too sharp. These edges here. I want it to be curved. They are what we call border radius, right? So the border radius work. So after my block, I put my semicolon because I want to write another one. So where we go border, you can see it's border receipt. VS Code giving you so many options to use, so you don't have to put everything in your head. Just remember, okay, I want to do something like this, then that's what is gonna, that's all you need. So border radius. But you can see here that, okay, I thought it was giving me red. Whenever you have red on your code, you can see that there's a red here, right? You can see here that you can see one error here. Visual Studio Code too is, that's one of the benefits of using Visual Studio Code. Saying that okay, there's something here that is giving you, try to check on it. So if you click on this one, you can see that there's a one error. Then when I click on it, it's showing me like line 10. See line 10. So I'm on line 10, column 79. When you try to count the column, it takes you to the back end. So it's telling you that CSS value expected. So there's a property you're supposed to put there. So that's just one of the benefits of using VS Code. So I already know that it's there, right? So let me just cancel it. So the border radius. So the border radius work in 3 different ways. or majorly we use it to different space. So when I give it a border radius of, let me use border radius of 15 pixels, right? Let's go and check it. Let's see the curve, 15 pixels. So if I should give it one value, it works for all the angles. It works for the top, the right, the bottom, and the left. I give it one value, right? 15 pixels. It works for all the angles. If I should give it two values, one is the first one will go for the top and the bottom, while the next one, let me give this one 30 pixels to see the difference. While the next value goes for the left and right. Do you get? I said first, I used 15 pixels first, and it works for all the sides, the top, bottom, left, right again. When I gave it two values, so the top and bottom will share the first one, while the 30 pixels, the right and the left would share the next one. So let's check our browser. Can you see this one is more curved? The left and the right. Can you see the left and the right? This this place here and this place here they are taking 30 pixels. While there's this space and the other side is taking 15 pixels. So basically the top and bottom takes the first value, while the right and left take the other value. So if you also have three values, but that one is not necessary. We also have the four when individually each one take one to itself. So and it's going top, it's going clockwise, it's going top, it's going right, it's going bottom, and it's going left. You get it's going like that. Top, right, bottom, left. That question. So this is just the inline styling we are doing though, but it's still the same thing. So let me give so left, top, right, bottom, left. Doing like that. So the top will take 50, the right will take 30, the bottom will take 15, and the left will take 30 pixels. So it's still going to be the same thing. Still going to be the same. Can you see no difference? So that's that for that. So there's what we also call, I don't know if I should work on it here. Okay, I'll show us on the next one. So this is inline styling. You get inline styling is within the tags. Is within the tags, right? Is within the tags. So what we call the next one is the internal styling. Internal styling. That's when you have to use the styling tags, the style tag. So you can put it anywhere. This is the style tag. So instead of giving it inline style here, you remove them and you put your style here. So in this place, I'm going to use the CSS selectors, the class and the IDs. So I'm going to give this button a class so that I can style it. That's for the internal. So the internal and the external CSS works for the class and the class and the IDs works for the internal and the external side. Yes, I'm giving it a class here of button. So the same way, I'm just going to remove this style here. I just want to so I can see them. So the class here, I'll give it a class name. So the name depends on whatever names. You don't have to restrict it, but just make sure you don't give it name that has to do with one of the tags. Okay, so that it won't mess up your work. So I'm just going to call this BTN, maybe BTN like button. You can also call it button though, but sometimes not to confuse you. So you can pick the name from anywhere, just depending on what you are working on. You guys can pick any name, whatever. So this is BTN. So whenever you're using class, whenever you're giving it a class, I've given it a class of BTN. So whenever you want to style it, so when you are doing class, you have to use your dots, then the class name to style it. Dots, the class name. That's on the styling, right? So let's go here. So I use the dots. The class name is BTN. Then open my curly braces. So I'm going to give it a background color of black. So let me remove this thing here. I'll use this one to check it. So let's check our browser. Can you see the same thing? Can you see my screen? If I'm practicing, you cannot wait till you're practicing and I'm looking. How do you understand? So you can see I gave it a because I want to style it internally, right? I gave it a class name of BTN. I say you can give it whatever name, but just make sure it doesn't clash with the class's name. Or you can use, but just make sure it matches what you are working on. So BTN is also button, short form of button. So class name of BTN or button. So whenever I'm using class, I have to use my dots. You can see my dots here. So dots, class name. Then I have to go with the curly braces. It's not the normal circle, normal bracket. Oh. It's the one that has coils. Because some people have made the mistake too. So it's the one that has the curly braces, the curly parentheses. Then inside it, you now give it the style you want. So background color, black. So still under that same button, I'm still going to give it a color. The text is already black, so I'm going to give it a color of white. You can see that I separated it in the same semicolon here, right? So do the same here. So let's check our browser. Can you see it's still the same thing? Can you see our screen? Do you understand? Any question? The inline styling, right? So I said you are done with the inline styling. Now this one is the internal styling when we have to use the style tag. You get. So you have to create your style tag wherever, but it should be in your body tag, right? Should be in your body tag. When you're working on projects, you use the external styling often, all the time. You might not even necessarily use it. But whenever you're having issues, maybe you are trying to use the external CSS to style something, it's not working. So you cannot use your internal to check what is, that's why we're going through this. But basically, you're going to be using the external when we are working. Okay. Basically, like doing projects. So use your style tag. I open my style tag and I closed it. So I gave my button, I want to style my button. You can tell me to style my button. I gave my button a class name of BTN. And whenever you are styling the class, you have to use the dots. If you remove the dots, see, if I remove the dots now and check my something, it won't, see, it will not work. So I have to use my dots and the class name BTN to start with. Then I open my curly braces immediately. Then I now give it the styling, the background color, semicolon, black, value of what I picked. The color white. This color is like the text. I'm giving the text a white color. So this is just it. So this other one too. Let me remove it. Let me use my internal styling for it. I'm going to remove this styling I did for the image, right? You see that it's gone. The styling is gone. So I want to style it with my internal styling. So the same way, I'm done with this my button, right? So I'm going to do another one. So this is my image. I want to style this my I'll give it a class. You can give this one a ID too, but let me use ID for this. You get, because it's just one. But you can also use the class. But let me give it. I'm not sure you have to style the ID. So the ID, also give it a name. So I'll call this to um my image. And also when you're styling, when you're giving it a name, either the class name or the ID name, make sure you don't have spaces. Maybe I want to give this my image like this. Don't style like this. Always connect them, either this, you get, or you match them together. If you put space there, it will just pick just mine, then you will leave this one away. You can just try to match them together like this, or you can connect them with something like this. You understand? So I want to style my image. So I'm going to copy this. I'll copy the name, ID name. So how do I style my IDs? I'm done with this BTN, so I'm not going to put anything under this. So I'm going to this next line. How do I style my IDs? I'm going to use my hashtags. This is my hashtags. What is hashtag now? Hashtag and the ID name. This is the ID name. Together, no space. So, do you understand? Good luck. Eh? And that's why I said, class, use your dots. When you're styling your class, use dots. IDs, use your hashtags. So I said the IDs for you want to do like, I'm going to show you the difference. You can either use one to start. But ID is like telling you like a unique styling for this specific one. If I have so many divs here and they're having the same properties, but I want to give a specific styling to each one of them, I'm not going to use my ID. Maybe everything has the same size of width of 500, 500, 500, 500. But I want to give them a different colors. I'll not give them different ID name. You get, so that when it's on blue, red, green, that's why you use your class name IDs. You get. Good luck, do you understand? Yeah. So my ID, I'm going to use the hashtags to style IDs. So the same thing, open my curly braces, enter. So I give it a border, right? I gave my image a border. So the same thing, border, your colon. I give it a border of 15 pixels. So let's check back. Let's see if it's still it didn't work. So let's check what's the problem. 15 pixels. I didn't put my 2 pixels. Can you imagine? 2 pixels. Is it 2 pixels or 10 pixels? We use 10 pixels solid black. Right? So give it a borderline. See back. And I give it a border radius. The edges are curved, right? So that's what we call the border radius. So the same thing, border radius, border radius. Take the border radius there, just press your tab. Border radius of 20 pixels. That's all the size, top, right, bottom, left. 20 pixels. Can you see the edges are curved now? So this is internal styling, right? We are done with this. So let's now do the external styling. For the external styling, you have to create a CSS file. So I'll go here. The same way I have my index.html, I'm going to have like maybe style.css. Style.css. You can see the extension. I can see that it's coming with this icon. Style.css. So I've created my external CSS file. But you have to link it because it's standing on its own, right? So I have to link it to my HTML because when I'm using my HTML to code, I want to be styling it on my CSS, right? So that's when you now go to your head tag. I told you that whatever the links to your external CSS will be in the head tag, right? I've explained it before. So there's a way you write your code. So we have what we call the link. This one you have to do it on your head. The link, your rel, then style sheet. The first time or second time when I started coding, the way I spelled, and if you don't spell it well, and you are trying to style your CSS, it won't show. So you just look at the spelling. So that was what I did the mistake. I was saying where is the problem coming from? I was looking at this thing. I didn't spell my style very well. So you just look at how you spell your style sheets. So the next one is the ref. So the ref is now the link. So the link to the external CSS is style.css, right? The ref. So I'm going to put my style.css here. Do you understand? Do you understand? Emmanuel, do you understand? Good luck. Any question? You have a question for me? I guess be simple, Abby. So you do classwork before you go on to question HTML. Yeah, so that whenever I'm styling, it's reflecting on my HTML. Do you get? So I've created my style, my link that is going to connect my whatever I'm doing here is connecting it to my HTML. My styling is connected to my HTML. So let me open this one to the other one. So I'm going to press this. So that I can be using my HTML on one side, my style on one side. So I'm done with this. I can just comment this out. So let me comment this out since I'm working with the external CSS. So I'll comment it out and whatever I did is gone, right? Because I've commented it out. It goes back to the default. I want to work on my external CSS now. So, and how do you comment? So in HTML, they have a way of commenting. And like I said, what does comment does, it's not going to run on your code. It's just also trying to explain to other coders, other developers, okay, this is what you're trying to do. This one is not going to run on your code. Like I said, I commented it and all my changes went back to the normal HTML, showing that this is a comment I just commented it out. Okay, so I can also put here to that. Okay, what comment can do? I commented it, or you can just okay. Let me not use it here. So I can use my comments here. I can use it here to explain. So I can say external CSS link, just to explain to other developers that okay, this is what I see. It's not trying to run, it's just trying to also explain to other developers, this is what I mean. This is my external CSS link here. You get, it's not going to run on your browser. So this is I've created my external CSS here. So, and you can see my browser that's gone back to the normal HTML, no styling, because I've commented the style. So what I'm going to do, so we're still going to maintain, we're going to still leave our class name here and the class name here, the ID name here, right? So the first thing is my button. So my button is, how do we start our class? I want to start my button again, but on external CSS. How do we start our class? Good luck. Are you here? How do you start my class? How should I start my class? Who can help us? It's even showing here now. See, I start my class. I'm going to use my dots. I want to start my button. So my button is with as a CSS selector of class, not ID, right? The image one is ID. I want to style the button. Do you understand? Hmm? No, 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 tell me what don't you understand? I should come again. So I want to start my button. And my button has a class of BTN. So whenever I'm working with class, I have to use my dots. Then the class name is BTN. Yeah? Really? I didn't know. Thank you. In 3 minutes. All right, so let me end the call and put that down. All right. What is it? I'm coming back. My screen is hanging. What's your question? Let me stop recording. And that means that you didn't style it well. You use your curly braids. Look at the way I did mine. Let me put it on my code. Look at the way I did mine. Look at myself. Yeah. So I want to who's microphone? Everything I'm here now. Can we use your PC volume? Reduce it. I hear myself. Because when you're watching it, you're not gonna be hearing echoing like ah. Reduce it. Eh? Small exercise for me to know that you followed me. Right? For this mic is Is it my own? It's yours. No, it's not. Are you sure? So let me share my screen. So can you see my screen? So let me go back to my browser. What I was trying to explain is, look at this my input and my button here. I'm supposed to have space. It's two, they join together now. So what are we going to do to separate this and this? What I want to use, is it padding or margin? Margin. This this input here and this button, I want space to be in between them. What am I going to use? No, padding is this button here. I want to give it space inside this button. That's when you use padding. But outside this button, I want space to be in between the input and the button. That's when you use margin. You get? So let me use margin. So the same way we have one value for every side, we also have for padding and margin too. You can have one value for outside, or you can have individual. You have the padding top, margin left, margin right, margin bottom. You also have the padding top, padding left, like that. Or you can just have margin and you can have 15 pixels for outside, or the two values for top and bottom, left and right. Still the same thing. So I want to work on this button first. I want to give the button, I want to give the button space inside. So I'll use my padding first. Let me use my padding first for the margin, right? So still my button, right? I'll use my padding. So I want to give all sides space. So let me use 20 pixels. So it's too much though, but I want to just show you what I'm trying to say. So you can see the space. Can you see the space? Really? Can you see my screen? James and can you see my screen? Try to log out and come back. Let me wait for you. Are you there? Have you tried to log out? Still showing you are here though. Can you see my screen now? Good luck, we're waiting for you. Is your phone hanging? What is it saying? You still showing that you're in the call. You're on the call. Me. Are you in now? Can you see my screen? Sure, it can go on. Or is your internet? Is it your internet? And use it to, I won't suggest, you don't have internet on your phone. Let me use one. Hmm? Should I give you my other one? Hmm? Time is going. I want us to do small class like. Okay, connect to my hotspot. Can you see my name on your phone, not your system? Can you see my name? This is what. Are you are you sharing? Are you watching from your from laptop? The class. I'll say you repair. Are you watching on your laptop? What are you using for? Sorry, you could pair with you. Okay, you've left the meeting now. Yeah, can you join back? You've joined back, right? Is he asking me to this one too doesn't want to go? My video call ended. Why? Okay. I think I was logged out. Was I logged out or the meeting has ended? I was logged out, Abby. The meeting is still on. So let me join back. So let me share my screen. So I was trying to show us something. I said I want space to be in the button and I use my padding. So I gave it a padding of 20 pixels. The size of my padding, that's why I'm using pixels. You get me, I dealing with numbers or something. You're going to be using your pixels, right? So can you see my screen? So this is it. See how it looks like. See the padding. I gave it padding of 20 pixels. So everywhere is having 20 pixels padding. Top, right, bottom, left. The same way you can do the first one, the top and bottom having 20 pixels, while the left and right. So the top and bottom are having 20 pixels. The left and right, let me give it 100 pixels. Let's see. So can you see? So the top and bottom having 20, left and right having 100. Do you get? So apart from doing like this, we can also do, let me comment this out. That's gone back to normal. So I can also do, if you want to just use one side, so I can also do padding, see padding top. Padding top, 20 pixels. Padding bottom, the same way, 20 pixels, whichever one works for you. But this one is tautology. Just do the one and just do top and bottom, left and right. Padding left, padding right, 100 pixels. Padding left, 100 pixels. So let's check. Can you see it's still the same thing, right? So the text, look at it, the text is smaller. I want to increase the text. So we have what we call font size. So font size, font size is to increase the text size. So font size, let me give it 20 pixels. Can you see my screen? Thank you. Can you see this size of the text has increased? Join newsletter. Can you see my screen? So I use font size, right? We have what we call font weight. That's the thickness. the thickness of the text. So we have 100 to 900. You don't need to put pixels here. The as they are decreasing, as they are increasing, the thickness become more bold, something like that. So 700. Let's see how thick is it. See how thick is it? Very thick, right? So you see about that one, font family. Font family, we have font family. See them, this is like the default. But as time goes on, we'll be working with the Google font family. So you can pick any one that you want. Font family is like a serif, like if you're having a children party, the font family they use there different from the one they'll be using when you're talking about a movie something. So the movie, the side, the way they style the text, it look like a childish something. That's what we call font family. Yeah. So these are it. This so you can pick any one. Let me use cursive. You can see colleagues. You can see it has changed. But this button is too big, so let me reduce it to 50-50. The left and the right. 50, 50. Then let me give top and bottom 10, 10, 10, 10. So let's check it. I say let's come back. Say it's even been number now. So I want to give space outside this button. I want the space to be outside this button. That's when I'll use my margin. But my margin now is the top. I want space. I want space to be between this my input and the button itself. So the space is at the top. You get. It's not at the left or bottom or right. You get. It's at the top. I want my space to be. So I'm going to use margin. So you can either use margin top or you can just use margin. So the top and bottom. Anyone use this, but let me just use my margin. So still the same BTN because I'm still styling the button, right? So margin. Let me give it a margin. Let me give outside though. Let me give outside 30 pixels. So it's going to affect all sides the way margin. See the space. There's also space here because there's nothing here. That's why it won't really show. But there's also space under it gets. So there's space here, space here, space here, space here. That's for your margin. Space outside the box. So the margin and padding also works for text too. You get like this one now, you can see that I didn't use margin or padding here. It automatically gave it a margin because this H1 I mean H2 or element tags, all the element tags they by default came with a margin. So if I should use my developer tool, this is one of the tools we'll be using. So
So
whenever you
whenever you
are trying
are
to
trying to
find the
find
issue
the
of
issue
something
of
or you want
something,
to know
you
why
want to
your
know
code
why
is
your
not
code is
working,
not
we use the
working,
developer
we
tool.
use the
So how
developer.
do we get here? You right click. When you right click, you see something of inspect, right? Click on your expect, it takes you there. Or you use your developer to go to your, where is it? Let me scroll down. Where is it? So you see more tools, then developer tool still brings you. Let me let me go back there. Still brings you here. So more tools, developer tools. Yeah. So I want to show you that by default, those element tags I use on my page by default they all came with some extra paddings. So when I try to over, you can see this my H1 has margin already. How do you know that has margin? See this orange line. You see this orange line around it? It's showing that it has margin. So if you see the details here, can you see the details here? H1 is telling you the size. The color is black. Can you look at the details of? And the margin is telling you that it has a margin of 21.44 pixels already. I didn't give it any margin, but it just came with it by default. So sometimes you might want to remove them or keep them. You get this one too. H2 came with its own margin by default. You get this one doesn't have margin or padding. That's why they are like cluster together. This one came with a padding. See, if you see anything like green here, I told you that this orange, is it orange or yellow? Orange, when you over on it, you see something like orange or yellow, or is this or brown, is telling you that there's a margin there. But if you see something like green, look at this, there's a green here. Do you see this green here? Do you see green? So it's green is telling you that there's a padding there. I didn't give it padding, but it came with a padding by default. So it gave it a padding of, you can see the
The
four
four
values.
values.
Top
Top
has
has
zero
zero
padding,
padding,
right
right
has
has
zero padding, bottom has zero padding, but left has 40 pixels padding. Can you see? Do you understand? Good luck. Do you understand? Eh? Emmanuel, are you following? So that's just it. Do we get? So if I want to go back to, and also apart from that, if you look at this place too, HTML is talking about the HTML. Get, let me pick one. You see the HTML H1. This one, where is the styling? Um, come, this one is for JavaScript. Okay, HTML. This is the HTML, right? The styling. See the styling for each one. So on your developers too, you also have, you can also style your pages using your developer tool. But when you refresh, the styling is gone though. So you have to copy it and paste it to your code. It's just allowing you to like fix if there's a problem, it just allow you to troubleshoot faster, make you find the solution of why your code is not working. That's why we have the developer tool and it makes your work so easy. Do you get? So let's go back. So I've given it padding. I've been margin. I don't want margin to be by the left. I just want margin top. Maybe margin top and bottom. So I'll go back to my code. These 30 pixels for top and bottom. The second one, 0 pixels. I don't want margin for the left and right. So let's check our code. I can see it's back. But as this body is, there's a default margin. See these spaces here, but we can remove them. You can see these spaces as these web pages. It's by default came with its own um, margin. But let me remove it. So I'm going to remove it. So it's on the body. So I'll style the body, because see the body tag here now. This is the body. So by default, the body came with some extra padding and margin. So the body, I'm going to remove the margin and padding. So margin zero, sorry, margin zero, padding zero. So let's check. Can you see it has removed the margin and padding? You can see it's closer to the side. Yeah, so that's all for now. You can also put padding here in your input to get. So if I want to put um padding here, there's a way we style our input. Sorry. There's a way we style our input, right? So if probably okay, I've forgotten how to style my input. How will I maybe I've forgotten. Well, just gonna check. So I don't put everything on my head. So just type maybe input CSS. Input CSS W3 school. W3 school give me a perfect example how I can style my, yeah. So I didn't click on it now. Okay. So This is it. Oops, it gives me. Yeah. So I'll just click on try to say look at the example. Hopefully use the CSS too. Yeah. Is there CSS here? No, we didn't use the CSS. So let me pick the first option. Not here. So it's important for you that you always check online. Like I said, you have to put everything on your head. And why is it taking time to load? Input CSS. So let's look at this first one. It's taking time to load. Let's just give it some minutes or some seconds. I don't want it to come here. Okay. Says okay. So try it yourself. So like I said, the beauty school, you can you can play around here. You can see how they style their input. The input, then the type, because we have different types. We have type text, type email, type password type. So and mine is type of email, right? The type is email. So let me just go back to my code. So is there so input you can see the way I didn't use any class or ID here for my input, right? I want to style the tag itself, but I'm not giving it any class. So I'm just going to just put it like that. Input, you can see. I want to style this input. I want to give the input a padding now, right? Do you understand? Let me go back to my site. I want to give this a padding. I want to give, I want to put space inside, right? But I use input tag. So it's different from the way I'm going to style it. So you can also style your H2 like that without giving it a class. If you want to increase the size of the H2, you can just put H2. Okay, we'll do it like that. So I will go back there. So this input, I'm not giving it a class or a ID. I don't know to just style it. So input, then the type, like how they did it here, W3 school. The type is what? Email. My type is not text. So the type is email. You can see that they are together. No space there. So use your cube bracket. So the type is this equals to. Let me change it. So is equals to, right. So the type is email. How do you know the type is email? See the type here. I gave it type email. If you go and use type text here and you are using type email here, it won't work. Your styling won't work on this one. To be looking for the one that has type text. So my one is type email. So email. Yeah, so I'll open my curly braces, close it. So I want to give it a padding. So I'm going to give it a padding. I'll give the top and bottom 15 pixels, and I'll give the left and right probably 5 pixels. So let's check it if it's worked. Is it here? Let's load this screen. Guess it's my network. Okay, you can see this pattern. No, you can see my screen. See the pattern. So what's the question? Yes. Yeah, inputs. You want to just style inputs, you just have to pick the inputs. But if your input is inside, you know, when we get to that part, let me not confuse you. Because sometimes your inputs might, this one is just a mini project. There are sometimes that you'll be building a big project that you have so many inputs there. So how do you want to style them? Because if you use one input, if your inputs there are having, okay, maybe you have different inputs for different pages. So you have input here in one page, and if you give them the same style, it will affect the other ones you get. So what you have to do there is put the inputs in a container, a div container. So you can now give that your div container a class. So when you are starting it, you will pick the class, then your input. Do you understand? Do you understand? So yeah, so I want to style this my H2, just my H2. I'll pick, I'm not giving my H2 any class name or ID. I'll just put my H2 here. You get, you can do it like that. So if you're not giving it class, you don't just style the H2. So my H2 like that. So let me increase the font size. My H2 is saying font fat about me, right? So let me increase the font size to 100. So it's going to be too big. So let's check it out. Why is it taking time? It's showing me that there's red here. So what could be the problem? Font size. Let me check here. Colon expected. No problem. This is taking time to load. So that's just basically it. So see my H2. See, I give it a font size of 100. See how big it is. So you can also style tags like that without giving it a class name or ID. It works either way. So any question? I want
I
us
want
to
us to
work
work
on
on
something.
something.
I'll take it as assignment. Let's do it as assignment. So we have other so many styling naming you can do. As you practice more, just try to find out okay, that they move to the left. And I removed the extra padding. I said the body came with some extra padding. That's why you saw some spaces by the, so I picked the body. See the body here. It came with some extra and I gave it a margin of 0, a padding of 0. So it removed the padding and margin. And that's why they moved to the left. So there was no more space in there. That's why it's close to the edge. You will try to write down here. You can do that. You also move here too. Any question? So let me pick the the assignment to be working on. So people that didn't do their assignments, you have two assignments like that. So like that is piling up. So this is what they're going to do next. We've done this one. So this is the next assignment. So let me just explain to you. This is a card. This is centered. This is centered. But if you can't find the answer, you can just bring it back. I'll cover it. But look at this. This is a card, right? It has an image inside. It has the heading tag, the paragraph tag. You look at this one now, there's a background color here. That means this one is put in a separate div, and it has a background color of a baby pink. Okay. And inside this div, there's also a heading tag. This is a listing tag. You can see they make the first list the first word here to be bold. There's what we call the B tag to make it bold, or you can use the strong tag to make it bold. So you pick it. The next one is you can see that this one is brown, this one is brown, this one is brown. So probably they gave it the same class name, that they have the same or maybe they use the same heading tags. Then one as a style one heading tag, it affects the remaining three. You get. So this is the listing tag. This arrow, this line here is your HR tag, horizontal tag, right? This one, so your heading tag. This one is your use your ordered list, because it's 1, 2, 3. You get your ordered list and your li together. Then this is your HR again. This is your heading tag. This is your paragraph tag. Why this one is your table. So that one you're gonna check W3 school for it. And next one, when is I'll be checking our assignment. Any questions? So I'm going to put this on the group. So try it out. So this is our first assignment that we did. Where is it? This is the first assignment. So you can just, the one that you did, just try to put the border around it and color the button to finalize it, right? Then you can now move to this. So I'll just paste this to the group. Yeah. So I can stop sharing now. Any question for me? Emmanuel, call in 3 minutes. I want to see more in the call now. So we've used 60 minutes already. All right. Yeah. So I'll be pasting that. So it's important you also use your W3 score. And again, go to the group. There's something Ms. Josephine wants us to do. She said there's a form. She pasted the form. She sent something to the Slack group. There's a link there. Please share your learning journey. Please, can you help us to fill it? This share your learning journey. When you click on the form, it's just a short form. Help us to fill it. You see our post, and Josephine Kayode, she posted on the no actually, yeah. Yeah. So this share your learning journey, can click on it and takes you to your phone. By next week, I think next week. Yeah, by next week when we have done our two assignments, we should start posting on LinkedIn and Twitter. Good luck. Do you have a Twitter account and your LinkedIn account? Huh? So it can be, we'll love you to share your progress there. So but before that class, you can just try to create an account with us and try to engage in, follow many people that are doing what you are doing. It also helps you to grow because sometimes they share resources too. And also, if you plan to use this